This weather is about to get wild. Over the last couple of days, the models have been hinting towards 3 potential impacts, ranging from flooding to severe weather to even the potential of a heavy snowstorm up in the northeast. We will be going over all of that in today's video in terms of how much rain we potentially could see, which areas could see snow, as well as which areas could see severe weather as well. So buckle up, get yourself some popcorn, and let's jump on into the video. Severe weather potential. So we're taking a look here at the models regarding the potential instability. Basically, simple terms, the fuel that's available for the severe weather potential. Now, this is the RAP model. This is one of the American short-range models, and this model does predict that we are seeing the possibility here for basically kind of afternoon, evening here for tomorrow, being Thursday, a pool of instability, showing the potential out there for maybe a few strong to potentially severe storms that could kick off towards areas there, maybe even southeastern portions here of Minnesota. We got portions out there towards Iowa, central southern Wisconsin, and maybe even portions out there towards western Illinois could have enough energy to allow for strong to severe storms to pop off. Now, this is not the only model that does pick up on this. Another really good model to look at in the short range regarding severe weather potential or just thunderstorms in general is the HRRR. Now, this stands for High Resolution Rapid Refresh. This is a well-known model in the forecasting field. Now, this model does show ourselves a same scenario as the RAP model did show, both being American models. We do see the potential out there that we could have a lot of instability. Typically over 500 joules per kilogram across the atmosphere should be enough to potential for low-end severe thunderstorm activity to strong thunderstorms in general. And we are seeing well over that. Some of the models has been hinting towards the possibility of right around 1,000 joules per kilogram, which is 2 times the needed amount for the lowest end severe weather or strong thunderstorm to occur. Now, another really important thing to look at when we're forecasting severe weather is what we call wind shear, which is simply just wind speeds and wind directions across the atmosphere as a whole. Now, we mainly focus on 2 areas in the atmosphere when looking for severe weather. First of all, the lower atmosphere, right around what we call 850 millibar point, which is a pressure equivalent of right around 4,000 feet. We also do look at 500 millibars, which is roughly the middle portion of the atmosphere, which is also important for storms overall. So with everything we just talked about regarding the instability and the winds being in place, there is good potential that a few of these storms could be severe. Now, one more thing we do look at here whenever it comes to severe weather events is our dew point temperatures, which basically measures the moisture in our lower atmosphere. Now, this is kind of a setup we call a cold core setup, basically where you're going to see lower dew points than normal. Typically for thunderstorms, you see your dew points in the 60 to 70 range, and in this case, we're seeing them right around the lower 50s. This does have a specific name, like I said, it is called a cold core setup in this case. So overall, my friends, we're going to have the potential out there of seeing a bit of severe weather. Now, let me go ahead and zoom out here just a tad, because I do want to go ahead and show you guys what's going on here on the big picture of things popping off here. So with everything going on, as you can actually see here, as we track our way down in time, you can notice all of this green that's across the portions here of the Gulf. All of that moisture will be working its way up here into the country. As we track our way down in time, you can see all of that advecting northbound and going right up there towards portions of the southeast, portions here of the Midwest, and obviously into the Ohio Valley. Now, pay attention on the backside over in this region here. We actually have ourselves a lot of cooler air that's coming down from Canada. This air is actually be tracking its way down here to the southeast as this warm air advances to the north, and they're going to clash and they're going to run into each other, which is going to allow for a big difference in temperatures, which basically builds up instability. So we're going to have a lot of warm air over here and a lot of cold air back here, and they're going to be squeezing against each other and creating that available energy for the possibility of some strong to potentially severe storms. Real quick, you guys, if you are new to the channel, please consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button if you have not already. Also, check the link in the description. We got our cool merchandise, just like this hat we have here, and a bunch more. So once again, it'll be linked down in the description. Rolling on over here into the precipitation side of things, my friends, we got ourselves a pretty good amount of rainfall that will potentially come out of the storm system. Now, let me go ahead and leave a little bit of a disclaimer for you guys. This storm system here is still a couple days away. This is mostly going to be taking place between the 10th and the 13th. While it's currently the 7th, things can still change on the track. Now, we are looking at the blend of models, which is a model that basically blends a bunch of other models together, kind of mashing them together and giving an overall average view of how much rain we could see. And this model definitely does dump a lot of rain across the southeast. Once again, this will be taking place between the 10th and the 13th overall. We possibly could see areas here maybe up to 2-3 inches in some spots out there by Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, areas out there by Alabama, Georgia, and also portions near Tennessee could could actually see maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now, here's the thing. Some locally higher amounts are possible, possibly up to 4 inches or so. But once again, please remember that this could change, and it is still a couple days out. Now, let me also say that most of the main models as well do support right around 2 or 3 inches of rainfall. GFS, ECMWF, and all the main ones really are showing it in that boundary. So at this point, I'd say that's probably a pretty good base to go off of. All right, y'all. Now, lastly, we're taking a look here at the snow side of things. Yes, there's actually a pretty good potential. We could see a snow system for the northeast here coming up out of this storm system. So let me go ahead and show you guys what's currently happening. So this is kind of towards the current period right here for February 7th. We are seeing ourselves a lot of snowfall currently across those upper elevations. Now, later on, as we track our way down in time here for tomorrow, kind of late today into tomorrow, we're going to get a pretty strong storm system. A strong low pressure system will develop across the northern plains out there by North South Dakota, out there by portions near Minnesota, and it's going to be pretty strong, which will drive some snow for California. Not California. Canada, which basically could pop off a couple of inches out in some of those regions. Now, this will be the same system that will spark off the potential out there for a little bit of severe weather. Like I said, that cold core setup out there towards portions of the Midwest and the western Ohio Valley is a possibility. So that's going to be the main system that drives that. Now, as we work our way here into the 9th and 10th, that's where I said the next storm system is going to start to kick off. We're going to have a bit of moisture working its way from the Gulf into portions here of the southeast. And look at this, a big barrel of a low pressure system does develop here across portions here of the southern plains into the southeast here, kind of between the 11th and the 13th per se, which then the system will work its way up here to the northeast right around the 13th into the 14th. And you can see the model we're looking at right now is a GFS model, which does show a lot of snowfall across the northeast. Now, let me go ahead and zoom in here to the northeast to get a little bit of a better view overall with this storm system. Now, this model honestly is one of the most aggressive models when it comes to this potential snowstorm, which will be taking place once again between the 13th and 14th for the northeast here. It's still a possibility. Obviously, I wouldn't get your hopes up too high quite yet because it is still a few days away. Tracks and overall intensity of snowfall will likely change, so keep that in mind. Now, let me go ahead and show you a couple other models. Now, we have Icon, which is another pretty well-known model whenever it comes to forecasting and stuff like that. Now, whenever it comes to the Icon model, that specific run does not go far enough out. We have a new run that just came through I haven't even looked at, and this model is also still talking about it. As you can actually see, we are continuously seeing a bit of support here with the models. This one also does show a pretty decent, pretty hefty snowstorm impacting portions of the northeast. Then we work our way over here to the European model, which is the ECMWF here. So at this point, we've seen we're looking at our third model now, and so far, all the models we looked at show the storm. Now, does the European model show the storm? Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I'm going to have to change this to 0 Zulu because that previous run does not go out far enough, but this one definitely does, in which if we work our way down in time, would you know it, we do continue to see that snow system. Now, this one's pushed a little bit further to the south out there by the coast. It's really determining on that position of the low. If that low pressure system is pivoted a little bit more up to the north, that's going to allow for a bit of the cooler air that's around the Canadian area to basically allow for a bit more cooler air influence on the storm, which could allow for it to turn more into snow. Not to mention, more precipitation would be up in the northeast in general. Now, lastly, we have the GDPS model. Now, this is actually the Canadian model. If you know anything about Canadians, they definitely know their snow. But when it comes to meteorology, this is not really one of the well-known models. I mean, it's a pretty good model per se, but I wouldn't consider it one of the most accurate. And as you can see, this model is kind of the outcast in this event here. I mean, it still shows the snow, but it has that low pressure system nowhere near as strong as some of these other models like the European, the GFS, and obviously the Icon models as we've been looking out there for. So that is what's going on with the snow. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Be sure, if you have not already, consider hitting that subscribe button. And also know, if you are subscribed, double check and make sure you are, because sometimes YouTube actually unsubscribes you from the channel. So go ahead and consider checking on that, my friends. Once again, thank you all for joining. We'll be live here later on tonight at some point, probably around 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you guys then. And all right, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch you later on. Peace out, my friends. See you then.